In Equestria, 10,000 years ago, there existed an era called the Dark Ages, a time when the sun never rose and it was night the entire day.
There was no happiness, no joy, no hope, only total darkness. Alexei, a dragon that commanded the shadows, terrorized Equestria along with his army of shadow dragons and attempted to get rid of every last pony that stood in his way to completely take over Equestria. When Alexei's domination of Equestria was almost complete, 6 alicorn ponies, each possessing an elemental power, rose up to challenge Alexei.
Nova, the element of fire. Bolt, the element of lightning. Aqua, the element of water. Gale, the element of wind. Onyx, the element of earth. And Crystal, the element of ice. Thanks to Nova's supreme leadership skills and charisma, more and more ponies every day banded together to fight back against Alexei and his army. The war against Alexei lasted for 20 long years. With the help of Princess Estelise, Nova and the Elemental Warriors learned a 6-sided seal formation and were able to seal Alexei into the form of a stone statue, finally ending the war.
The sun that was long stalking finally appeared granting Equestria the warm, holy sunlight. Legends say Alexei would one day return and attempt to conquer Equestria. But the chosen one, an alicorn pony with an elemental power who was once a human, will one day appear and fight against the newly revived Alexei, defeating him once and for all. And after closing the book, Celestia puts it back on the book. She then walks over to the window, looks out at the night sky. I wonder when that time will come. Celestia smiles, walks back to her bed, and goes to sleep.
The next day in Golden Oak Library, Twilight awakens from her sleep.
I have a feeling that this is going to be another great day.
She opens up the window curtains, letting the warm sunlight into the house.
Don't you agree, Spike?
The dragon soon became annoyed by the sunlight in his face and turned to his side. Twilight jumps down from her bed.
Come on, Spike. Up and at 'em.
Spike replied, "Wake me up in about 2 or 3 hours," and fell back to sleep. Twilight smiles and walks downstairs and opens the front door to see everyone already busy. Another normal day in Ponyville. As Twilight walks through town, she spots Mr. and Mrs. Cake preparing to open up shop.
"Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Cake," Twilight happily said. "I can't wait to try those new cupcakes." Why hello there, Twilight," replied Mrs. Cake. "Don't you worry, they will be ready in no time." Twilight looks around and asks, "Is Pinkie Pie up yet?" Mr. Cake turned around and said,
I think she went over to visit Applejack.
Twilight then waved goodbye to Mr. and Mrs. Cake and heads for Apple Acres. As Twilight was nearly there, she stops, and spots an unconscious pony lying on the ground. Twilight quickly rushed to the pony's aid. When Twilight reaches the spot where the pony laid, she softly nudges him. "Hey, are you okay?"
The pony begins to wake up and muttered, "Who are you? Where am I?"
"I'm sorry, where are my manners?" Twilight replies, embarrassed. "My name's Twilight Sparkle. I live in Golden Oak Library in Ponyville. I was heading for Apple Acres and found you lying unconscious here. What is your name?" The pony, still confused, said, Daniel Reed."
Daniel becomes agitated with this strange creature what this strange creature had just called him and said, "I am not a pony." Not paying attention to Daniel's words, Twilight said, "Do you live around here? I've never seen you before. But then again, I just moved to Ponyville a couple of days ago, and I'm still getting to know the ponies around here. Still, it is rare to find a male alicorn pony, especially when a cutie mark like yours." Daniel, already annoyed at being called a pony once, decided he had enough. As he attempted to point to his right arm at Twilight, Daniel is shocked to find a hoof in the spot where his hand once was. Twilight, still confused about Daniel's strange behavior, replied, "Are you sure you're okay?" Daniel, not paying any attention at all to her words, gets up and rushes over to a nearby pond. As he heads for the pond, Daniel notices he is running on all fours instead of 2 legs. Trying hard not to panic, Daniel rushes over to the pond, fearing for the worst. When Daniel reaches the pond, he looks into the water. Words to describe the horror at his own reflection fail to come together in Daniel's mind as all that comes out of his mouth is a loud scream.
Twilight puzzled about what Daniel was screaming about, attempts to find out what was wrong, but is interrupted by the arrival of her friends, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Applejack, Rarity, and Pinkie Pie. Applejack walks over to Twilight and says, "Hey Twilight, how's it going?" Twilight, who is still staring at Daniel, doesn't respond. Applejack then looks at Daniel, who is still staring at his own reflection in the water. "Who is that, Twilight? I don't think I've ever seen him before."
Rarity replied, "Me either." Rainbow Dash smiles and said, "I probably know it's her new boyfriend." Twilight, who was preoccupied at watching Daniel, quickly responded, "What? No, he isn't Rainbow Dash. That's not funny." Twilight begins to blush fiercely. Let's go over and ask him.
Daniel, still shocked about what has happened to him, muttered, "This isn't happening. This can't be happening." Rainbow Dash flies over to Daniel and taps him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, is something wrong?" Daniel comes back and quickly turns around. "Don't touch me! Wait, what are you, some kind of flying horse thing?"
Rainbow Dash! Surprised, that's what Daniel had called her. He replied, "Flying horse thing? Hey, it's that insult." Twilight comes forward and said, "Calm down, Rainbow Dash. We aren't here to start fighting with him." Twilight turns to Daniel. "You said your name is Daniel, me? That's a strange name for a pony. Are you sure that's your name?" Daniel replied, "Yes, my name is Daniel. And I'm not a pony. I'm a human." Everyone looks at Daniel confused. What is that? In almost no time at all, Twilight and others attempted to talk to Daniel at the same time. After finally recovering the shock he sustained from seeing his own reflection, Daniel tries to calm everyone down. "Okay, just hold on a minute." "There are some things I need answers for." He takes a deep breath. "First off, what kind of horses are you?" Twilight replied, "We prefer the term pony." For some reason, Daniel became annoyed by it. "Fine, ponies. What kind of ponies are you?" Twilight pointed to herself and Rarity. "Me and Rarity are unicorns. We have the ability to use magic with our horns." Just the word magic is enough to make Daniel laugh. "Magic? Yeah, okay, sure. Whatever you say." He looks at Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. "Who are you two?" Fluttershy replies, "Me and Rainbow Dash." Before they seem to get too soft and quiet, Rainbow Dash speaks up for Fluttershy. "We're Pegasus. We have wings and are able to fly." Rainbow Dash flies around the sky and comes back down. "See?" Daniel not paying any attention to her looks at Applejack and Pinkie. "What can you two do?" Applejack tries, "We're not just normal Earth ponies." "So Earth ponies don't have any abilities," said Daniel inside. Applejack trying to redeem the name for all Earth ponies everywhere quickly replied, "You're gonna be surprised at what us Earth ponies can do." Daniel then said, "Yeah, sure. What?" He looks at his body. "So what about me? I have both a horn and wings." Twilight said, "You're an alicorn." Daniel's still trying to figure out the terms unicorns, Pegasus, airplane. Like, what?
Alicorn, a pony that has both a horn and wings, Twilight said. Female alicorns are pretty rare, but male alicorns are even rarer. I think you're the first male one I've ever seen. Alicorns are rare, replied Daniel. Yes, Twilight said. For an alicorn and a unicorn, Pegasus or Earth Pony to have an alicorn baby is around a 10% chance, but for two alicorns, an alicorn baby is around a 90% chance. Okay, what about cutie marks? What are they? Said Daniel curiously. Cutie marks are a symbol that tells about a pony's personality, proclivity, or talent, replied Twilight. Daniel looks at his cutie mark on his thigh. A fire emblem? I don't know what that means. You have a cutie mark and you don't even know what it means? Rainbow Dash laughed. Well, of course not. Why would I? Daniel said angrily. I just got turned into a horse with a horn and wings into a world where horses can talk, fly, and use magic. And I'm supposed to know what this mark on my thigh means? Excuse me for asking, Mr. Grouchy Pants, replied Twilight. Daniel tries to calm down and thinks to himself. Okay, I'm a horse in a world full of talking horses. Common sense pretty much doesn't exist here. Let's see. I need to go see the president or whoever's in charge here of this world, and hopefully, maybe they know what's going on here. Dan looks at Twilight. Hey, Twilight, who's in charge of this place called? He signals to Twilight to help him out. Equestria, Twilight replied. Okay, Equestria. Is there a president or a leader in charge here that I can talk to? Said Daniel. That would be Princess Celestia. She lives in Canterlot, which is the capital of Equestria. You could say she's our main leader, said Twilight. Where I come from, a country where one person rules over everything is called a dictator. It means that, Daniel stops in mid-sentence due to seeing Twilight and others' faces about what he just said. You know what? Never mind. Okay, let's go to Canterlot. Hopefully Celestia knows why I'm here in this world. Daniel and the others then decided to head for Canterlot to speak with Princess Celestia. Thanks to Twilight's hot air balloon, they eventually managed to make it to Canterlot. After entering the city, Daniel and the others make their way into Canterlot Castle, where they find Princess Celestia in her throne room. Celestia spots Twilight and said, "Hello there, Twilight. Gosh. Do you need any help with anything?"
Twilight replied, "Actually, Princess Celestia, there is. You see, we have someone who wants to meet you." Twilight looks behind her and signals for Daniel to come forward. Daniel appears before Celestia and said, "Hello, Princess Celestia. My name is Daniel Reed, and I woke up in this world and somehow became a pony. I was wondering if you could help me figure out why."
Daniel appears before Celestia and said, "Hello, Princess Celestia. My name is Daniel Reed, and I woke up in this world and somehow became a pony. I was wondering if you could help me figure out why." Celestia spots Daniel's cutie mark and speaks in a soft voice. "The Chosen One has appeared." She then kneels before him.
Daniel, already used to being called weird names by now, is shocked to being called this new name. "Wait, what did you just call me?" he replied. Everyone except Rainbow Dash also kneel before Daniel. Rainbow Dash looks around at everyone and says, "What are you doing?" Twilight looks at Rainbow Dash. "Don't argue, just do it." "Fine," replied Rainbow Dash as she reluctantly kneels down too.
Daniel looks around at everyone confused. Okay, you guys are kind of freaking me out more than usual, and I've already gone through the whole talking horse thing already. Daniel walks up to Princess Celestia. May I ask why you just called me the Chosen One? Princess Celestia gets up, goes to the wall behind her chair, reveals a hidden button, and activates it. The wall goes up, revealing a secret room. Celestia looks back behind her and says, "Please follow me, everyone. There is something I need to show you." Daniel and the others reluctantly follow Princess Celestia into the secret room, which soon closes behind them. Soon after, lights begin to activate above lighting the dark room to reveal 5 large stone tablets on a wall before them. They follow Celestia to the first stone tablet on the far left. Princess Celestia begins to speak. "Welcome to the Hall of Prophecy."
Twilight looks around the room and said, "I didn't know a room like this existed in the castle." Celestia replied, "This room, along with these stone tables, have existed since Canterlot has nearly for 10,000 years. Princess Estelice, the first princess of Equestria, who also founded Canterlot, made this room along with the 5 stone tablets. Throughout generation and generation of prince and princesses, this room has been kept secret by each one, and they have passed that secret down ever since, which is why I know about it." Princess Celestia begins to tell them about the first stone tablet. This tablet here shows the elemental warriors battling against Alexei. She moves to the second tablet. This one here shows the elemental warriors sealing Alexei away. Celestia moves to the third tablet. This tablet shows Alexei breaking free from his seal and attempting to take over Equestria. She moves to the fourth tablet. This one shows a human becoming an alicorn with an elemental power who manages to defeat Alexei.
Daniel looks around at everyone, confused. Okay, you guys are kind of freaking me out more than usual, and I've already gone through the talking horse thing already. Daniel walks up to Princess Celestia. "May I ask you why you just called me the Chosen One?"
Daniel looks around at everyone confused. Okay. You guys are kind of freaking me out more than usual, and I've already gone through the talking horse thing already. Daniel walked up to Princess Celestia. "May I ask why you just called me the Chosen One?" Princess Celestia gets up, goes to the wall behind her chair, reveals a hidden button, and activates it. The wall goes up, revealing a secret room. Celestia looks back behind her and said, "Please follow me, everyone. There's something I need to show you. Daniel and the others reluctantly followed Princess Celestia into the secret room, which soon closes behind them. Soon after, lights begin to activate above, lighting the dark room to reveal 5 large stone tablets on a wall before them. They follow Celestia to the first stone tablet on the far left. Princess Celestia begins to speak. Welcome to the Hall of Prophecy.
Celestia replied, "This room, along with these stone tablets, have existed since Canterlot has for nearly 1,000 years. Princess Estelence, the first princess of Equestria, who also founded Canterlot, made this room along with the 5 stone tablets. Throughout generation and generation of prince and princesses, this room has been kept secret by each one, and they have passed that secret down ever since, which is why I know about it." Princess Celestia begins to tell them about the first stone tablet. This tablet here shows the element warriors battling against Axelexia. She moves to the second tablet. The one here shows the elemental warriors stealing Alexi away. Celestia moves to the third tablet. This tablet shows Alexi breaking free from his steel and attempting to take over Equestria. She moves to the fourth tablet. This one shows a human becoming an alicorn with an elemental power who manages to defeat Alexi.
Daniel looks at the 5th tablet and said, "What about this one?" Daniel studies the tablet, trying to see if he could figure out what it means. It looks like the alicorn is in the middle of these 6 artifacts around him, with 2 other ponies. The one on the right looks like a female pony, and they are holding up what looks like a baby wearing a crown, and light is shining from the clouds onto all 3 of them.
Celestia smiles and replied, "This last one here tells of how the chosen one must marry a pony who possesses an element of harmony that in part will bear the new future princess of Equestria." If she had asked me, that would have been the moment I would have told her Dashi was the one.
Daniel, already been through a great ordeal of constant surprises, can't even comprehend what he just heard Princess Celestia say. Daniel turns to her. "May I ask who the 6th element of harmony uses?" "You've been with them this entire time," Princess Celestia replied, as she pointed to Twilight and the others. Daniel looks at them, and then looks back at Celestia, and begins to stutter in his speech. "You mean that I, as one of them, as we need to get, as if we need to..." Celestia laughs at Daniel's reaction and says, "That's right."
Daniel was completely at a loss of words. Becoming a pony, being called the Chosen One, and now being told he had to marry one of the 6 ponies he had just met, and they were going to have a kid. Okay, this has been fun and all, but this is obviously a dream, and this is all just a figment of my imagination, he said. "I'm going to wake up now." Daniel closed his eyes and waited to finally wake up from this nightmare, but when he opened his eyes again, he still saw everyone looking at him. Daniel closed his eyes again. Right now, he had opened his eyes to once again see nothing had changed. Daniel immediately started to lose his patience and began to use his right hoof to punch himself repeatedly in the face while saying, "Why won't I wake up?" Daniel then punched himself so hard in the face that he knocked himself out. Eventually, Daniel began to wake up and saw a dark shadow of a silhouette in front of him. "Mom, is that you? I had just had this weird dream that I was a horse in a world full of weird, annoying talking horses."
When the silhouette becomes clearer, he saw Pinkie Pie looking directly at him, who said, "You're funny." Daniel quickly gets back up and retreats backwards to see everyone looking at him as if he has done something strange. "Okay, so I guess this isn't a dream. This is real great, just great," Daniel said.
"Have you made your choice, Daniel?" Celestia replied, breaking the awkward silence. Daniel turned to look at Twilight and the others and turns back to Celestia. Can I get some time to think about this? In my world, marriage is a pretty serious deal, and I want to make absolutely sure I'm making the right choice. Celestia smiles and replied, "Yes, of course." She turns to Twilight and the other. "Everyone, this is a very important task.
One of you will be marrying Daniel, and both of you will have a child that will eventually take over my place as Princess of Equestria. Celestia then turns to Daniel and says, please come back here tomorrow with everyone after you've made your decision. Daniel and the others begin to leave when Princess Celestia interrupts them. Oh yes, before I forget. She then looks at Daniel. What would you like to be called? Your human name won't do you much good here. Is there a different name you would like to be called instead? Daniel thinks hard for a while and replied, well, my cutie mark is a fire emblem, so that means that I have the power of fire. I need a name that sounds cool, is related to fire, and is easy to say. How about Flareon? Flareon. Very well then. From this day on, you will be called Flareon, Celestia said with a smile. Flareon and the others, along with Celestia, leave the Hall of Prophecy. Celestia waves goodbye to them as they begin to head back to the hot air balloon. The girls stop halfway there. The girls stop halfway there and begin to talk about Flareon.
So, what do you all think about this? Twilight said. Well, I'm not really sure. Flareon is a nice guy and all, kind of, but it's not like he's my type, replied Applejack. Same here. I doubt he's the stallion I'm looking for, said Rarity. I'm not sure. I guess he's nice, Fluttershy muttered. The mood suddenly changed as everyone began to fight for who would marry Flareon. He obviously is going to pick me. After all, I'm the coolest out of all of us, said Rainbow Dash. In your dreams, Rainbow Dash, what he wants is an old-fashioned country gal, said Applejack. All of you are out of your league. What Flareon wants is a mare with fashion and glamour, Rarity replied as she flaunted her mane. Fluttershy looks at Twilight, who was the only one not joining in the debate. What about you, Twilight? Do you think Flareon is going to choose you? Rainbow Dash begins to laugh. Twilight, the egghead? There's no way he's going to pick her. I mean, no offense, Twilight, but I doubt Flareon is interested in your book collection.
Twilight's ears begin to drop, but Applejack comes to her defense. Now hush, Rainbow Dash. Twilight has just as good a chance for Flareon picking her than the rest of us do. Rainbow Dash crossed her arms. Well, we'll see about that. She then put her right hoof out and said, may the best mare win, as they all joined hooves together in agreement. For them, love is war, and this was one battle that they were set on winning. Soon after, a voice behind them said, you do know that I can hear you, right? Twilight and the others quickly turned around to see Flareon looking at them as if he were waiting for them to finish. Sorry about that, Twilight said. We're coming, Flareon and the others then headed back to Ponyville as the girls prepared to win over Fluttershy. Flareon. Later on, it says, Flareon is walking through the town of Ponyville, remembering what he was told a few minutes before. Everyone would go back to their houses and prepare. Flareon would go and meet them at their houses for a visit to decide if he wanted to marry one of them. Flareon decided to head to Apple Acres first, where Applejack lives.
While Flareon was walking down the path to her house, he began to talk to himself. Why me, the chosen one? This is all too crazy to be real, but then again, this isn't a dream. Marriage? I've never even had a girlfriend, and now I have to get married? Flareon sighs, as he makes it to Apple Acres. Unfortunately for him, he's soon swarmed by Applejack and 3 other ponies. Welcome to Apple Acres, home of the Apple family, Applejack said.
Before Flareon could react, an elder pony came up close to him with her right eye wide while staring at him. Flareon, is it? So you're young. You are a young whippersnapper that wants to marry my granddaughter. Quick question. How many seeds does an apple have on average? Flareon was completely baffled and replied, what are you talking about?
but now I have.
Applejack quickly moved the elder pony away from Flareon. Said, "Sorry, that's my grandma, Granny Smith. She's a little, well, you know." Next, a big pony came forward, looked at Flareon, simply nodded and said, "Yup." He then extended his right hoof, and Flareon shook it. "That's my That's my old brother Big Macintosh. He doesn't talk a lot," Applejack said. "He's always been like that."
Next, a small pony with a boner mane came up to him. "Hi, Flareon. My name is Applejack. My big sister told me that you're the chosen one that is here because you're going to marry Applejack. Well, look no further. She is the best pony in all of Equestria." Just as she finished, Flareon's stomach began to growl. "Oh, that's right," Flareon said. "I haven't eaten anything all day today." Just as Flareon uttered those words, he was quickly pulled by everyone and forced to sit down at a picnic table. Soon after, a pie was placed in front of him. "This apple pie is the pride and joy of Apple Acres. Ain't nothing like it in Equestria like it," Applejack said confidently. Flareon took a bite of the pie and replied, "Wow, this is the best pie I've ever tasted." Little did Flareon know, he had just set off a tidal wave of pure chaos. Applejack, Applebloom, Big Mac, and Granny Smith set down plates after plates of different apple-related food until Flareon was completely buried. He managed to crawl out from under the food mountain and quickly ran away as fast as his legs could carry him. Flareon eventually stopped to catch his breath and said, "Okay, Applejack and her family are nice and all, but way too crazy. I don't think I would last one day living there." Flareon imagined a list in his mind containing Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Applejack, Rarity, and Pinkie Pie. Flareon then crossed Applejack off the list. After leaving Apple Acres, Flareon decided to head for Fluttershy's cottage. Flareon walked up to the door and knocked 3 times, but no one answered. "I'm pretty sure Fluttershy told me she would be home." Flareon said, "Maybe she's in the back." Flareon walked around the house into the backyard to see Fluttershy caring for animals. "Hey, Fluttershy," Flareon said as he approached her.
"Oh, Flareon, you're here. I'm sorry, I didn't expect you to be here already," Fluttershy said. Flareon looked around at the animals. "So I'm guessing you love animals a lot." "Oh yes, I absolutely love them, especially Angel here," Fluttershy said as she pointed towards a small bunny. "Do you like animals too, Flareon?" He quickly began to lie. "Oh yeah, I love them too." As Flareon reached out his right hoof to try and pet Angel, the bunny swatted Flareon's hoof away. "Angel, that's no way to treat our guest. You need to be more friendly," Fluttershy said. Angel crossed her arms and looked away. "I'm sorry, Flareon. Angel isn't used to strangers." She then turned around and began to tell Flareon about her other animals. While Flareon was listening to Fluttershy, he looked down to notice Angel and some of the other animals staring at him angrily. One after another, each animal was giving him death threat signs. "Shoot!" Flareon said as he waved his hoof, attempting to make the animals go away. Unfortunately, Angel and the animals attacked him. Flareon attempted to fight off the attacking animals, while Fluttershy, obviously to what was happening behind her, continued to talk. After Fluttershy was done, she turned around to see the rest of her animals crowded around Flareon, who was covered in scratches with Angel on his back. "Oh, Angel, were you and your friends playing with him?" Seeing Flareon, I knew she would warm up to you, Fluttershy said.
"Oh yes, we were just playing around," Flareon said reluctantly, as Angel had a firm hold on his right hoof, which she was holding behind his head, out of Fluttershy's vision. "Would you like to come inside my house and talk for a bit?" Fluttershy asked. Angel then pulled hard on Flareon's hoof, which prompted him to say, "I'm sorry, Fluttershy, but I have to go now, and I mean right now." Satisfied, Angel let go of Flareon's hoof and returned with the other animals to Fluttershy's side.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, Fluttershy said. I'll see you later then, bye. She then turned around to tend to her animals. Angel and the rest of the animals looked at Flareon angrily and turned back around too. After leaving Fluttershy's house, Flareon stopped and said to himself, Fluttershy is really nice, but her animals are, well, let's just say being killed by a bunny isn't something I'm exactly interested in. Flareon then imagined a list in his mind again and crossed off Fluttershy. Flareon then decided to head for Carousel Boutique where Rarity lived. When Flareon got there, he knocked on the door once and Rarity immediately opened it. She appeared to be wearing an elegant outfit with a matching hat.
Oh, Flareon, I was expecting you here today, she said. You said, Flareon replied, we already talked about this. We did? I must have forgotten. Silly me. Oh my god, silly me. Rarity said as Flareon followed her into the house. Rarity then disappeared into another room. Flareon looked around to see different types of clothing and accessories. For some reason, he had a bad feeling this was going to end well. Rarity came back to a mobile rack that had a bunch of different outfits that appeared to be for males. Flareon tried to leave, but Rarity was faster than he was and forced him into the first outfit on the rack. Rarity then moved a mirror in front of Flareon. What do you think? Does this one bring out your best features? She said with relish. Flareon was absolutely speechless and not the good kind, more the horrified kind. Apparently he was wearing what looked like an old world colonial suit. No? Question mark, by the way. Rarity said, well then how about this one? For what seemed like an hour, Flareon was forced to try on outfit and outfit. And finally, after the last one, Flareon noticed the mobile rack was empty and took a deep sigh of relief. And the nightmare was finally over. Unfortunately, Rarity went to the other room again and this time came back with 3 mobile racks. Oh my god. Mobile racks of outfits, and that when Rarity turned back to him to pick out the outfits, Flareon took this golden opportunity to escape before it was too late.